What is going on, everybody? Grayson here from Profit. Welcome back to the channel. We're nearing the end of 2025, so today I want to talk about some of the worst investment decisions I made in 2025 and also some of the better ones that I made in this calendar year. You see a lot of people on YouTube, they only talk about their wins, and when they get something wrong, they kind of just forget about it for a really long period of time, hope everyone forgets. And I think it's really important if you are investing, you are trying to improve, to be very analytical and look at the mistakes you make and try and improve upon those in the future. So starting off, Destined Rivals. This is, and by the way, I'm going to go in order from mistakes to wins, and then also in the mistakes category, I think I'm going to go from the objectively worst mistakes I've made, the ones that cost me the most amount of money, to the ones that really weren't that bad. And we'll go through these in order. So starting off, Destined Rivals. Of course, I only have one box of Destined Rivals. You guys know that. I got two from Hobbiesville for MSRP on pre-order. I gave one to my cousin. So I have one box, but these after release were sitting around $200 USD. You can see here back in the middle of June, mid to late June, $240. But you could find these cheaper than $240. Lots of LGSs had them for like $200 to $220, even up here in Canada. I should have bought more Destined Rivals at that price. There really isn't too much to say here. The box is sitting at $400. It was an objectively bad decision to not buy more. Could have basically doubled my money at this point. Now, in the future, will Destined Rivals be cheaper than $400? Will I be able to buy it closer to $200 again? Who knows if we'll actually get to 200, but I do think it will be cheaper in the future. And when we look at annualized ROI over the next 5 to 10 years, did I put my money into better places? Who knows, right? But objectively, this was a really bad decision. I should have been loading up on cases at $200, and I know a lot of you guys did. And if you've sold, congrats, you've made great money. If you're holding on to them, awesome as well. But that was definitely a big mistake, number one. It is the best SVera booster box set. Really no arguing that. We've gone over these cards so many times. You guys know the deal. Destined Rivals. Be on the lookout for that in the next 5 years. I imagine it will eventually get to Fusion Strike, Lost Origin levels, and maybe even higher. Journey Together, this was another objectively bad decision. So this is a set that's terrible, by the way. I'm not a huge fan of Journey Together. I know some people disagree with me on that, but back in, I don't know what it would have been, February of this year, up here in Canada, there were still a couple LGSs that were doing pre-orders of Journey Together for, I think, like 150 Canadian, which is probably like 110 USD, 120 USD, in that range. I don't think there was limits at the time either. Maybe some stores it was limiting it to a case, like you could get 6 boxes. So I should have just pre-ordered. You guys know, if you go back and watch my videos at the time, I was not a fan of pre-ordering this set if you had zero clue what the cards were going to be inside. But just because of the time we were in the cycle, we were really just getting started back in like January, February of this year. It made sense to just buy everything blindly, even if it was the worst set ever. It was probably going to come out the gate 200 plus, and that's really what happened. I mean, the 6-month chart you can see here back in June was around $200. If you do the year chart back in May, early May when it was coming out, this was around $200, maybe even sub $200. Never really got down to MSRP. And in the summer, we were up to around $265, $270 a box. I could have easily doubled my money on this product. So another miss for Grayson. Now, after these two, we are going to actually do a selling decision, not a buying decision, but I did sell some Fusion Strike and Lost Origin earlier this year. I made great money on it. I think for my Fusion Strike, I almost 4x, like 3.5x, same thing with Lost Origin. But the reality is these boxes are now way more expensive than they were when I sold them. So I could have made a lot more money if I just held on to my boxes. You guys know I do like getting to a zero cost basis. It helps me sleep at night. I feel great knowing that I have no money into the products I have. However, I understand that this is just my bias. This is irrational. It's not actually the best strategy if you're trying to optimize your ROI. So in the future, I am going to try and do a better job holding on to the sets that I believe are winners. Even after they've 2-3x'd in money, I might start moving that up to like 5x and really just looking deep at the numbers to see when is the optimal time to start moving out of products. Because the reality is every box gets to a point where it's not worth holding on to. You know, Team Up, I had someone ask me this maybe a week ago at this point. Team Up at $8,600 It's probably not going to be your best ROI over the next 5 to 10 years. I think something like evolving at 2K probably going to outperform it. And I think there's more than likely products as well that are going to outperform evolving at 2K. So some of these ETBs, some of these cheaper booster boxes, I think that's entirely possible. But it objectively was a very bad decision to sell my Fusion Strike and Lost Origin when I did, even though I did put the money into decent places, which we'll talk about here in a second. I definitely, if I could go back, I would not make that decision. Now, the next two, these were investments that I probably could have held off a little bit longer in buying. The first one being Surging Sparks. I was buying a lot of this during the summer, and you can see the box price is basically the same as it was back in the summer. Sure, we had a few dips here back in like May and June. So if you got it at a week where it was very low, we had a restock at vending machines or whatever, great. But I think my average buy cost is around 210. And about 30 days ago, maybe 45 days ago at this point, lots of boxes were moving at $210. In Canada, I don't know if they ever got down that low again though, so maybe I would have been buying them at like 230, 240. But the point is, it really hasn't done too much this year, whereas a lot of other products have absolutely exploded in price. So I could have put my money somewhere else and made way better returns, and I could have just been buying Surging Sparks now. Similar to the next item on the list, Prismatic Evolutions, ETBs. If you guys have been around a while, you know that I got a lot of these on pre-order from Walmart for MSRP. So out the gate, like I'd already doubled my money on these boxes. I did end up selling a case. I had 50 ETBs, so I sold 10. I had about 40 left. They're all loose, by the way. I say case, I sold 10. The Walmart cases never came sealed, unfortunately, because they would put the packing slip inside. But I probably should have just dumped 80% of them, at least half of them realistically, back in January when they were pushing like $210, $220 Canadian. You can see here, the opportunity cost hasn't been great. These have been restocked a ton over the past 12 months. Objectively, it was a bad decision. That said, my position still isn't terrible. I think my average cost now, if I consider the loose boxes and my sealed cases, it's around $90 USD per ETB. I think when I bought the cases, if you break it down, it's probably closer to like 110 USD per ETB inside those. And then the loose boxes were probably at what, like $70, $75 USD, something like that. Now, moving on to some of the things I think I did well in 2025. The first one being 151 booster bundles. These were restocking a ton in December of 2024 and into January of 2025 at Walmart here in Canada. And at one point, they didn't even have limits on these. So I believe you could order like 100 or more in one purchase. And again, MSRP here, it was probably a few dollars more if you do the conversion than what it was in the States. But we were paying 42, 43 Canadian, I think, all in for these, maybe a little bit more than that. And I bought as many as I possibly could at the time. You can see here, if we go to the TCG player chart, these were around, let's say, $65, $70 USD. We were paying somewhere around 40, basically doubled your money. So I'm glad that I got these. I still have all the ones that I was able to grab this year outside of one that I gave away in the middle of the year, but super excited to see what happens in the future with that said. The second one, Paldea Evolved. I got this right a lot this year, it seems. You know, when I was looking at my purchase history, I was buying more of this back in like February, March of this year, buying on the way up, dollar cost averaging. And it got to a point where I remember this box was around $200. And in my spreadsheet, I was looking at secondary market data. There were just no listings available on eBay North America. And the boxes were moving somewhere between like 4 and 6, buy it now every single day. And that's when I made my videos saying that Paldea was going to explode. It was going to go to like 300 overnight. That's really what happened. It continued moving up. Now, I did sell some around, I believe it was August or September. I can't remember exactly when I made my video. And it was for about like 380 USD, I think, once you do the conversion. It's sitting around that same price right now. Should I have held on to it? I don't know. I like to think the money went to a decent place, which we'll get to here in a second. But at the same time, I think these booster boxes are just going to continue climbing. And I wouldn't be surprised next year if they're somewhere in the mid 400s or even higher as Paldea Evolved rotates out. So moving on, Crown Zenith, another one of these products that I just continued buying on the way up. I was buying these in January and February when they're like maybe $70, $80, $90 in ETB. USD, up around 200% on the year. Really not much to say there. Same sort of deal with Palde and Fades. I was buying these for I think like 160 Canadian dollar cost averaging on the way up. Still have a sealed case of these. And these were, I think, the best performing ETB out of all the specialty sets over the past 12 months. So that's really all the decent decisions I made in Pokemon. Again, like I think for me, I did all right in Pokemon this year. It seems like everyone made money with the boom. So if I had to give myself a grade in terms of just strictly Pokemon, I'd probably give myself like a C, to be honest. I think that I had a fairly mid-year. I'm glad that I had my money already in the Pokemon market, so I had great returns there. But just based on the decision making from the new sets coming out and where I could have put my money specifically in this game, I would rank it a C. I'd be fairly tough on myself. Maybe some people would say that I'm copying, that's too high of a grade, but who knows, whatever. For me, I think it's middle of the road. And then I think my best decision on the year is obviously One Piece. I mean, I don't want to talk about this too much. I know a lot of you guys don't like this, but a lot of the things that I was selling throughout the year. So when I sold Fusion Strike and Lost Origin, the money from this, for the most part, obviously I bought a bit of Surging, I bought more prismatic ETBs, but the vast majority of the money went into things like a Blue Bottom booster box. It went into OPO5 booster boxes. OPO9, I have multiple cases of this as well. And over the past 3 months, we're up, what, over 100% on O9. Over the past 12 months, 200% gain plus. Same deal with OPO5, we're over 350% gain. Even my Blue Bottom booster box, which is damaged, but I think I paid about 1,500 Canadian, 1,550. So you do the conversion, maybe like 1,100 USD, 1,200 USD. These are now going for 5K, and it's not even contentious at this point. This was the best place to put your money in One Piece or Pokemon, I believe, over the past 12 months. Maybe there's like one or two odd products that are small, like a sleep booster or something that outperformed, but the OP booster boxes have done better than the Pokemon ones. Will that continue? Who knows? I'm happy and grateful that I put my money here. Definitely a little bit lucky as well. I never expected One Piece to grow at this rate. So I think overall, right, if I consider the One Piece stuff, maybe like a B grade, B minus, something like that in terms of my investing journey this year. Things I'm going to improve on next year. Obviously, holding off on winners, trying to sell my winners, just holding maybe an extra year or so, maybe trying to get another 100% to 200% out of the sets I really believe in, the top sets. And on a similar note, if a really strong set comes out that is a booster box like Destined Rivals, I'm probably going to buy more upfront, even if it's at an inflated price. Again, like I think things in the future, there's so many factors that could affect what I ultimately end up doing, but Destined Rivals, looking back at it in hindsight, I should just grabbed a couple cases even at like $200 to $240 USD. So that's going to be the video. You guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think. What was your greatest investing win for the year and what was your biggest L? Also, if you guys are shopping eBay, TCG Player, Hobbiesville, I do have affiliate links down below in the description. They're free and easy to use. All you have to do is click on the link before you do your shopping. I'll get a small percentage of the sale at no extra cost to you, so it's a free and easy way to support the channel. But with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.